Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Air Kitty. Alright, so today we are playing the game of life. I don't mean that in a metaphorical sense, like we're all playing the game of life. No, I mean like the actual board game, the game of life. The difference is though, because some of you may be asking, oh, is this the 1999 version that was for the PlayStation and PC? No, unfortunately not. I personally have a bias towards that game. It is probably one of my favorites. Or one of my favorite iterations of the game virtualized, I guess. I had picked this version up, though, a while ago, and I kind of wanted to see if it was any good. I hadn't gotten around to playing it because I wanted to find friends that would play it with me. Unfortunately, some of them either weren't really into it, didn't really feel comfortable with the idea of being recorded, or just didn't have time. So I am stuck playing it by my sad, lonesome self like a loser. Yeah. But what prompted this was, so I was catching up on some streams on Peanut Butter Gamer's channel, or rather I guess his second channel. I stumbled across this and I didn't even know he had played it. Started watching it, while I was working on some other things, and it really got me in the mood to play. Somebody also had mentioned in his stream about the modern version of the Game of Life. And I was like, oh, they must be talking about this version of the game. And it got me thinking, I was like, I don't have the original, though I do plan to pick it up and play it. One, for the channel, but also just for my own enjoyment. Because honestly, so far, it is my favorite iteration of it. I don't know if I had said that already, but it is. It is my favorite iteration of that board game. But I want to see if this one stacks up. I don't know if it will, but I have hope. So let's get in and just pick our character and stuff. I'm going to do a full mode, just so I get the full experience. I want it to be like I'm playing this game back in the 90s. I am a female. I want a green one. And we're just going to add CPU characters, because I don't want to have to go through, 3 different characters of I'm just going to play all of them. Nah. Give me somewhat of a challenge. Okay. Awesome. Okay, highest spinner starts, of course. Green starts spinner. What do I use to spin it? Just hit enter. Space. Okay. So apparently space is to spin the spinner. Ooh. Well, I am going third at least. Fantastic. Oh wow, they let you pick your career? I just have flashbacks to Monopoly, just having them dish out Monopoly money to you. Okay. So wait, you cook pancakes. I'll shout out your favorite pancake topping and take turns to spin. Spin red to collect... Oh, to collect 30. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Just what I wanted to do. So I'm kind of wondering if there is a very similar strategy to this as there was with the 1999 version. Fantastic. Honestly, I'm gonna just go to college, because in most playthroughs that's always been a better bet, I guess, and I'm just kind of running with real life examples. Like, okay, most times going to college gets you better advantages for the working world. Yep, pay the bank. Okay, spin. It's not terrible. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye, yellow. Okay, you run a marathon. Pick an opponent, both. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what? I'm picking red because I just don't like the color red. I'm sorry. Both show off your warm-up moves and spin. Bank pays highest spinner. Well, with my luck. Okay, I got an 8. There's only 2 numbers higher than that, and... Okay, awesome. I got the 1000k. Or 100k. I made my money back from going to college already. I basically just got a scholarship from the bank that paid for my college. Wait, what? Oh, fantastic. Both tell everybody about your speech is about highest spinner. Oh, frick. I have to get a 10. Which isn't gonna happen. Nope. Is this like one for everybody again? Oh, great. I mean, at least I got a high number. Awesome. Well, it only took me like 2 turns to graduate. Yay, I'm a college graduate. Select 2 cards. I'm just gonna go with the middle ones. Ooh, I like both of these. I'm gonna go with the vet just because it's a higher salary. I would actually personally like to do the fashion designer one, but I'll do vet. And 7 is a lucky number for me, so even better. Nice, got a payday. Oh. Well, at least I'm getting married. I will say this is one thing that I did like about this version that I heard about, was that they allowed you to pick if you wanted to have a boy or a girl spouse. I want to stay realistic and choose a boy. Yeah, I want to, but I'm like, I don't want Jeffrey to see this and think I'm cheating or anything. Yay, me and Jeffrey getting married, because that's what I'm gonna assume the blue peg is Jeffrey. Spin to determine wedding gift. How much are you paying me, suckers? I'm cool with this. Awesome. You attend a business lunch, pick an opponent. Shh, I didn't even see that. Red, you're going down. I should have actually, oh shoot. I should have actually picked whoever was in last place, because then even if I lost, I wouldn't further them into first place. Frick. Pick an opponent, shake hands, and take turns to spin. Of course. Well, at least I'm not that far behind red, at least, so... Red is now the new rival. Yes, pick me. Did we both get 6? It is kind of funny, though, that... So, Yellow was the last one to get married, I think. And yet, granted, none of the computer players picked, like, a same-sex spouse. I mean, granted, I'm like, there's probably, like, a rando thing that says 50-50 shot, but I'm like... Wouldn't at least one of them get, like, a same-sex couple? Or a same-sex partner, I guess? Okay, so it kind of seems like if you go the night school path, you get to choose another career, but it does seem like 100K is kind of the base. Dang it. You win a beautiful forehead contest. Tell everyone why your forehead's the prettiest. I mean, it is a pretty flawless forehead, guys. Oh hey, I'm in first place. Just barely, though. I'm just sliding by the seat of my pants. I am no longer in first place. I'm sorry, what is going on? Oh. I guess the storks have upgraded to helicopters today. Oh my god, they already get to buy a house? Ooh, thank God. Awesome. I'm pretty happy with my career choice at the moment. Though I could be getting 120 like Yellow. No, I'm just gonna stick with what I got. Nice. Spin to see how high you jump. You are given a bouncy castle. Yes! Best day of my life when I get a bouncy castle just gifted to me. Spin to see how high you jumped. Are you freaking kidding me? Fantastic. Wow. That was like literally luck. Such luck, because I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get a 10. I have to get a 10 in order to win. Oh, cool, they landed on my number. Oh, when they landed on yellows. It always sucks when you get double whammied. Grab the cash. Wait a minute, what? Wait, hold and drag the left mouse button to move the peg. Collect as much cash as possible while avoiding loans. This isn't for all of us, right? Or is it? Oh my god, it is. Ah, that's a loan. I don't need that. Give. Oh, that was a 10. Give. 10. I need 10s. Oh wow, I made out really well. Cash only achievement. Of course, Red and I tied for first. That's okay. Because I am... Wait, when it comes to skill... That is the other thing I want... Okay, so there's nothing I can click on just yet. That felt kind of rigged. Yes. Choose a house option. Buy. I think no matter what... Beach house... Yeah, so no matter what... Can't spin to make it lower. Anyways, I was gonna say no matter what, I'm gonna make out with it. Yes, it put me in a bit of a steep end, but at the end, I know that in the original game, like, you kind of add up everything together. Well, and the one thing I was gonna say was, the thing I had realized from watching, PBG's thing. Nice. Awesome. But the thing I realized from watching PBG's thing is it's actually kind of better to be towards the back of the line and not be the first one. Just because you get more opportunities to make money on the board. Granted, that was with the old version, so I'm not sure if the same strategy works here. You give money to an animal rescue, name your favorite pay bank. Well, it's only 20k, so it's not that bad. And I am catching right back up to red. Ah, awesome, thank you. Poor blue just keeps landing on all of our spots. But that did put blue pretty... Did it put him pretty far behind? No, it didn't. Oh my god. Wait. Red has already got an orphanage. What the heck? Came out with twins. Oh my god. Okay, no, I thought that was still yellow. I was gonna be like, I thought yellow went again, like, for some reason spun again. And then they got two more. I was gonna be like, wow, yellow is busy. Oh, awesome, I'm actually gonna make it so I can actually possibly get a kid. Yes, the baby path. What would have happened if I would have overshot it? I mean, I guess I would have still gotten a kid anyways. Oh my god, guys, it's a big moment. A baby girl! I'ma name her... Odette. That's what her name's gonna be. It's gonna be Odette. Statues? Click the left mouse button to move the peg forward. Stop when the guard turns around or you will be sent back to the start. Oh! Okay, so it's a sneaking game. Oh crap. Oh my god! I was so scared, like, 'cause I got sent back that whole time. And then, like, I saw, like, the other two, I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna make it. Oh, I'm still just barely behind red. Yellow and I need to make an alliance. Yellow doesn't seem like it's like they're trying to screw me over. And they're a lawyer, they can get me out of things. Is the whole point just to get a full car of children? Because so far, the other three players that have come forth, or I've gone through this, have gotten a full car of kids. Ah, fantastic. Well, okay, I paid yellow. I'm okay with that. I was actually expecting that I'd get like a 1 or something like that. I'd pick up like twins. I'm like, oh god. Spin for a baby. Do I guess I don't get a baby? Oh. That's disappointing. I didn't even read what that said. Alright, so we're gonna go with whoever has the least. So me and Yellow, pick an opponent, both play the air guitar and spin. Yellow is gonna win that for sure. Okay. Alright. I feel slightly bad for stealing that from Yellow. I actually kind of wanted them to take it from me. I'm so sad, guys. Like, what just happened there was like the equivalent of like Jeffrey and I trying for a baby. And then realizing like something didn't go right, like we thought the liquid was blue and it wasn't blue. Oof. Yeah, Yellow, you can have that. I'm proud of you, Yellow. Until you start getting ahead of me, then I'm not gonna be so happy. There's still spaces. We got another baby! I'm gonna name this one Leon. No affiliation with Squall from Final Fantasy / Kingdom Hearts. I just really like the name Leon. Ooh, Yellow, taking that risky road. Wait, what? You are shipwrecked on a deserted island. Everyone spins to find out how long they're stranded. Nice! Oh, thank God. Okay. Yellow, you can have that. You deserve that. Of course. Isn't it always funny how when you play a game, especially if you're playing with computer players, there's always that one computer player that you're just like, no, no, you're the worst now. You are absolutely the worst. And for some reason, the computer characters are always OP. Yeah, I'm not taking the risky road. I can't afford the risky road. Safe road. Yes! Pay me, red! Frick. Good blue. Fired for sneaking your cat into work? Oh, holy crap. Yeah, my vet job is not as prestigious as I thought it was. I just love entering these beautiful forehead contests because I know I'm gonna win. Because, I mean, who wouldn't vote for my forehead? It wouldn't be me. I would not vote for my forehead. Okay, so it's half kiwi, half banana. Spin to see how many you sold. Okay, so it was just for them. That's fine. Again, I would have rather wanted to pay yellow. Okay. After watching PBG's stream, the Millionaire Mansion is actually more of a risk, so I'm just gonna go with Countryside Acres. Yes. Pay me my retirement. Ooh, yellow's playing it risky. Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of space with all them kids. And they keep paying. Oh wow, they only got 2? Oh, because I think it was about how much money they made. Sell your houses. The one time I actually really wanted black. Oh, did they have two? That's right, they had two houses. Oh man, guys, I might be in trouble. So I know I definitely got more than red on that one. Ooh, I did not get more than yellow though. Oh, crap. I am not gonna win this, guys. Because I didn't produce enough children. Hey, Jeffrey and I were more focused on our career, making sure the two that we had could survive. Oh, yellow had a loan. Oh my god, so I actually did make it out on top. Oh my god. Yay. Hey guys, so I just wanted to kind of do a more formal review of the game after I was done playing it. I felt like how I was trying to review it was a little sporadic, and I don't really feel like I was being as honest as I would like to be, or really as kind as I'd like to be. And when I use the term kind, I mean more in the sense of not necessarily being nice and saying like, oh, it was a fantastic game. I mean more in the sense of being truthful, being honest, letting the company know what I actually thought of their product, and not just basically putting in a bunch of fluff. I've taken some notes here, so I'm kind of a true believer of start with the bad stuff and end with the good stuff. Obviously, as things touch on each other, I'll bring it up, but starting with the things that didn't work for me in this game, first and foremost, I don't know if it was maybe just a glitch or possibly even just the way that my game ran, but I wasn't really too much of a fan of the fact that even the NPCs didn't choose a same-sex partner. If you're going to offer the option that there could be same-sex couples, I would actually appreciate it if one of the players, even if they're computer players, would choose a same-sex partner. Now, that could be that, you know, if it's actually a randomizer, like I had mentioned in the video, and it was a 50-50 shot, there truly is a good chance that it could have been all those chances were opposite partners. That's not too much of a nitpicky thing for me, or too much of a bad thing for me. I just thought it'd be a nice touch, because, you know, if you're trying to kind of be a little bit more inclusive, that kind of helps with that. The other thing was, this is kind of more of a pro at first. I like the idea that they did keep the cutscenes, but I will say that the cutscenes were only for major life events. Now, I know that I'm kind of comparing this to the old version of the Game of Life that was for the PlayStation and the computer, but the reason why I am comparing it is because it was also made by Hasbro, and so they had material to work off of for this game. And I'm comparing it to see, basically, have they progressed any. As I can see, they did take a lot of those cutscenes out in this version, and they only left it for the major life events, like graduation, marriage, children, which I like the cutscenes that are in there, but I would have appreciated, like, the quirky, kind of fun cutscenes, so like, oh, a tree fell on your house, pay this money. And then you got the cutscene like you did in the old version. The other thing I noticed is I was playing a full version of the game. I was not playing a quick version. I was playing a full-out version, or a full-out round of this game. And even just by myself, this was only 45 minutes. So I was a little concerned about that because with the older version, I know for myself that literally, even playing with friends, it was a good couple hours, even if we were dedicated and focused on the game at every single point. Like, we were at it for at least 3 hours. Now, granted, that may sound more of an investment for some. For me, only having 45 minutes is not really that great. It's kind of short, especially when you're having something that is replicating a board game, which usually is a good couple hours. Moving on to the idea of the boards themselves, the boards actually felt very empty. Again, comparing it to its predecessor, the 90s version of the game. So if you've seen that board, it's lively, it's crowded, it's, there's a lot going on. It's very busy. Now, some people may not like that, and I get that. So maybe people like the modern version more because it's less busy, but I like that busyness. On top of that, the busyness kind of went along with what decade you were in. And that was another thing that I didn't like about this newer version of the game, and I think what also played into why it was so short, is because in the older version, you basically went around the board and you went through different decades. So, I think it was like you started in the 50s, then you went to the 60s, then the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then the 2000s. And as you went and progressed through the decades, your car would, advance, the places around you would advance, different life events would happen. And for me, I felt that was really intriguing and that was really great. Now, granted, the time periods, of course, are not going to be relatable for most people nowadays because obviously we didn't grow up in the 50s. I mean, granted, back then it was still kind of unrelatable, but it was still a really nice touch. It was taking what we know of those time periods and kind of showing like an idealistic picture of what the 2000s were going to look like. Because obviously at the time that the game was made, it was right at the end of the 90s and going into the turn of the century. So a lot of people obviously had different views of what the 2000s were going to look like, and many of them thought it would be very futuristic. Now, that's not a bad thing necessarily, that they made the board less busy and took out the time periods, but it would have been nice, so like, that idea of the progression of life. That, as you age and as you go through life, things look differently. So I would have liked that added touch of having things like progress through the board. So like as you got closer to retirement, things look differently. Like, you saw, like you had more events about your children if you had children, or with your spouse and stuff like that. The other thing that I found, and I technically find it to be kind of nitpicky for me, but the thing that I didn't really love as well was the idea that there was the peg style people. Now, granted, I understand that in some ways they are trying to stay true to the game that they actually have. And obviously, if you had the original board game, the people were legitimately just little pegs, which is fine and all, and I understand that you don't necessarily want to put too much processing power on a program. I just wasn't in love with that, especially when we had the very detailed, big-headed figures from the previous game. And the other thing is I noticed that they did add mini-games that could be played by all the players involved on the board, but there really weren't enough mini-games, I felt like. I got to play maybe 2 in the whole time that I was in there, and the rest just kind of felt like fluff. The other thing is, so granted, life cards are very important to this game, which, granted, I felt like I saw a lack thereof. Some of the life cards that were there, like, oh, you won most beautiful forehead, or you're both going in for a scholarship, they were all competition-based, I guess. There was nothing like landing on a life card and then being like, oh, I won the lottery, collect $50,000. Not like a individual benefit or consequence. And that was kind of the thing that I didn't like as well. Like the life cards that were there, you always had to compete with somebody else for that money or that benefit or whatever. And the life cards legitimately went by way too quickly. Like there was no way for it to be paused and then be continued like with a click or a spacebar tap. It was like a timed event. You just had the life card in front of you, hope to God you can read it in 5 seconds, because otherwise you don't know what's going on. So that was probably some of my gripes about the game. The things I will say the game did right, though, that I think were a step in the right direction, was the fact that they did add the same-sex couple, the option to do the same-sex couple. The previous game did not allow you to do that. it was one of those things where you picked a character, and then when you got to the point that said, oh, you're getting married, you basically just had one of the NPCs handed to you, and it was the one of the opposite gender. I will say a pro to the peg-styled people is the fact that you add in that individuality. Like, since the pegs are so ambiguous, you kind of like what I was doing, you kind of role play a little bit. And granted, when I had the board game as a child, I was playing with friends like that, you know, we would kind of role play a little bit with those, like, oh, this is my husband, Brandon, and stuff like that, and we have 2 children named Rose and Ryan. You know, it was cute stuff like that. So, the pegs are really kind of a neutral thing for me. I'm not in love with them, but I see the benefit of it does add that individuality. As I said before, I did like the fact that they did keep the cutscenes in there. I only wish that it had been for more events in the game, not just the major life events. I love the idea of having the mini games. That was another thing. I also really love the idea that all the players on the board could play the mini games, and they could all have a chance at getting money. The one thing that kind of might have been a nuisance for people in the older version was there were lots of minigames. It kind of felt like everywhere you turned, there was a minigame. But the problem was that there was no minigames where everybody played together. It was always just one person, and it was kind of more like a card game or a lotto game. So it was nice to have a game that actually required some skills instead of just like, oh, random chance. Because, you know, in life isn't just about random chance, it is about the skills that you have. If you work up your skills, you are more than likely going to make it through life more easily than most, so to speak. The other thing I guess I would add about the pegs is you no longer have the really freaky children models that you saw in the first game where they were literally just miniatures of whoever the parents were. So I will say that's the good thing is the children pegs actually look like children, or the representation of children, I guess. And really the last pro of this game is the price tag. So obviously I got this on Steam, and on Steam it's listed as of right now as only $5. And that's a pretty good price when you're thinking about the legacy of this game and what you're getting. Overall, while it did take some steps and I thought that they were improvements to the old game, it doesn't really hold up to what came before it. For $5, I feel like I got what I paid for. A kind of low-quality game that banked more on nostalgia than actually trying to make a good product that could outshine and advance from its older version. If you're itching to play the Game of Life, I would not recommend this version at all. The actual board game itself, the physical copy of it, I hate to say it would be more fun than this. Even if you were playing by yourself, you could still go for a lot longer and you could still do a lot more. That's not to say that I didn't necessarily enjoy any part of this game. As you saw in the video, there were parts that I really did enjoy. I had some laughs. It just didn't stand up necessarily to its predecessor. But if you really want the previous version of the game, the older version, if you still have an old PlayStation 2, or even if you're running a Windows 10, I looked at the specs for that game, and it looks like it should be able to work even if you don't have a virtual machine. You should be able to just pop it right in, install it, and it should be able to run without any problems. Don't take my word for it though, as I don't have the game as of yet, so I won't be able to test it out for you guys. But on top of that, because it is such an older game, you'll probably be able to find it for either the same price or a lower price than the modern version that you find on Steam. And so there you have it, guys. That is the review for the Game of Life modern version. As I said prior in this video, obviously I am slightly biased to the 90s version of the game. It is the one that I grew up with. It was the first one that I had, so obviously when that's your first experience, especially if you've played it yourself, you understand that sometimes it can be hard to beat your own bias. So those are just my thoughts. Obviously, they're just an opinion. People are gonna like certain things and not like certain things. Obviously, as you saw, I just didn't really like this. I didn't find the charm. Some of you may still find it fun, and please don't let me stop you from having fun with this. I don't want to be doing that. If you have fun with it, please, good on ya. I probably will not touch this game again, unfortunately. It'll probably sit and collect virtual cobwebs in my Steam library. But I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye-bye.